The solutions are effective, comprehensive public policy that is not predicated upon biases and/or incomplete information. It is an outcomes-driven, metric-based solutions. 2, economic solutions that are not predicated upon racial bias and/or geographic bias, but that it leans into the abilities and the skill sets of those individuals. 3, reframing and reshaping the current structure of federal, local, and state policy that are in conflict, that are reinforcing the disparities that people with disabilities and their families face. I mean, that's just 3. These are very low-hanging fruits. This is not complicated. This is CMS, HUD, this is Center for Medicaid and Medicare Studies, Services, Housing and Urban Development, Social Security Administration, Veterans Administrations, getting a uniform understanding of what eligibility is, and then not predicating it upon giving people the minimum, but giving people what they need in order to function as humans. These are very, very basic, very simple things. And for those who are going to have to try to, because somebody's going to be, we can't afford. Like, look, before you finish that sentence, the United States is carrying $38 trillion of national debt. I laugh when people say we can't afford it. We managed to find money to go to war all the time. We've managed in the last 6 months to bail out banks and financial institutions because we say that there's a, quote, systemic risk, or the word that they like to use is contagion. If you have that same fervor for industry and you transfer that to having that same fervor for the individual, would you need to bail out banks? Like, would you need to do these things? If you had the same fervor and say, how can we underpin communities that have been deprived of resources to give them the ability to regenerate themselves? And the last thing I'll say is that it has happened, but you have a Tulsa, you have a Rosewood. People don't know about Central Park. Like, you have Oregon. You have entire states where populations have been decimated and replaced. And so if you can't deal with the history, you'll never be able to see the future.